Thank you to each and every one of you for coming today for this Prerana talk and giving me an opportunity to serve all of you and share with you things that are very close to my heart. So today's topic is chat with God. So we are going to discuss a few things, principles of how we can connect with God. So first we will offer prayers. So you can please follow me if you know. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudhiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankaja Nabhaya Namo Pankaja Maline Namo Pankaja Netraya Namaste Pankajangre. Om Ajnanaतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जना शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यम् ईश्वरं नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे। योऽन्ता प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तान् संजीवयत किल शक्तिधरा स्वधाम्ना Anyamsha hasta charana shravana tvagadin. Pranannamo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. Katanchana smrute yasmin duskaram sukaram bhavet. Vismrute viparitam sya Sri Chaitanya namamitam. Hare Krishna. It gives me great happiness today evening to be with all of you and share some thoughts on this topic, chat with God. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to discuss 5 to 6 topics within this. First, we will discuss what do we mean by chat with God? What exactly we mean? And we will understand that chat with God means basically to remember Krishna, or to remember God. Then we will discuss how to practically remember God, how to practically remember Krishna. And then third, we will discuss how does it help? If we connect with Krishna, how does it really help? We'll just take one benefit or one practical thing that will happen to us. Then the fourth is the most important topic we'll discuss. There is something that is preventing us from connecting with God. That is one very powerful thing because of which we can't remember Krishna. So we'll spend some time on that. And then we'll discuss the fifth topic, 3 simple techniques by which we can remove these obstacles and have good network to connect with God. So what we have to do. And then finally, if we have time, we will discuss symptoms of those who are connected to God. What happens, you can know whether you are getting connected to God if you develop certain symptoms. So that we will discuss if we have time. Is that okay? So we'll begin with, what do we mean by chat with God? How many of you chat with your friends on social media? Wow, everybody. How many of you are active on WhatsApp? Wow. Telegram? Okay, आज ऊपर ही रखना पड़ेगा सब क्वेश्चन. Facebook? Yes, everybody is on Facebook. Yes. So, to chat with your friends, we have social media. But to chat with God, social media will not help so much. We need spiritual media. We need something else. And unfortunately, nowadays youth are so attached to social media that they want to see God also through social media. But we invite you to explore a relationship with God through spiritual media. देश के युवा अब जाग चुके हैं, one politician said. देश के युवा अब जाग चुके हैं. अब वो उठेंगे, ब्रश करेंगे और व्हाट्सएप चलाएंगे बस. This is our situation. So, how to chat with God? Basically, it means practicing yoga. Yoga technically means yujyate. It is derived from the Sanskrit word yujyate, which means to connect. So, yoga means when we connect to something higher than this body. So, in the real sense, yoga practice means that practice which helps us go beyond this body and connect to our real self and to God. And there are many yoga paths, out of which we in ISKCON, we practice what yoga? Bhakti yoga, where we offer emotions, feelings to God. And we connect with God. And that's how we chat with God. So basically, chat with God means remembering Krishna, remembering God. That is how simple it is. Like for example, if you have gone very far away from your home, so you stay in touch with your parents, your family. How do you stay in touch? You call them. There is some way you are in touch with them, right? Similarly, are you in touch with yourself? Are you able to connect with yourself? Or are you disconnected? So when we connect with ourselves, just like you connect with your family, so when we connect with ourselves and God, then we are beginning a spiritual path. So when we say chat with God, it basically means connecting through the practice of remembering God. And we have this nowadays, everybody has, I also have. It is called smartphone. And we have this also, feedback. Of the two, which will help us connect with God? This. But which one we like more? है ना? इंसान फिसल के गिर जाए तो हंसी निकल जाती है. इंसान फिसल के गिर जाए तो हंसी निकल जाती है. स्मार्टफोन गिर जाए तो जान निकल जाती है ना? आजकल के बच्चों के हाथ से स्मार्टफोन छीन लेना मतलब आईसीयू के पेशेंट के मुंह से वेंटिलेटर निकाल लेना. This is like the soul is residing here. But this is the way we can get Krishna, we can remember Krishna. And Bhakti Yoga, which we are practicing, there are two very important principles. Just like in yoga. When you are doing yoga, there are two very important principles. Only then it is said you are doing yoga. Like in our ashram, we started yoga classes many years ago. So I thought I will also join because I was sleeping 6 hours every night. So I wanted to sleep less. I thought if I do yoga, I can reduce my sleep and be more healthy. But after I started yoga, I started sleeping 8 to 9 hours. I knew there was some gadbad happening. But then the yoga teacher told me, I will see how you do. So when I was doing yoga, he saw me. He said, Prabhuji, bahut bada gadbad kar rahe hain aap. So he said, the mistake I was doing was, I was stretching nicely, but I was holding my breath. So that was causing more fatigue. What you are supposed to do when you are doing yoga? You are supposed to stretch and also breathe normally. You are supposed to breathe, inhale and exhale normally. Sukham Stairyam Asanam. अच्छे से रिलैक्स होके ब्रीथ करो, फिर स्ट्रेच करो. तो इफ आई सिट डाउन एंड से ओके आई विल रिलैक्स एंड ब्रीथ, तो योगा होगा ही नहीं. आई हैव टू स्ट्रेच. बट इफ आई स्ट्रेच एंड इफ आई डोंट ब्रीथ, दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट योगा. सो योगा मीन्स बोथ हैज टू बी देयर. स्ट्रेच एंड normally breathe. Similarly, in Bhakti Yoga, we do two things. Breathing is compared to remembering Krishna. And stretching is compared to service. When we render service, if you only do service, but don't remember God, then that becomes ordinary material activity. But if you say, okay, I'll sit and only remember God, then your mind will take you everywhere. You will not remember God, but you will remember everything else. Therefore, we need both. What we need to remember, to connect with God? What are the two things we need? Remember Krishna and service. So basically, chat with God means remembering Krishna and serving Krishna. And Bhakti Yoga is so nice, remembering Krishna can be practiced anywhere. Like for example, if you meet with an accident and you're lying on the hospital bed, can you do yoga? No. But remembering Krishna, you can. I want to share one, how it helps, I want to share. I had one friend, because when I was a young boy, I used to watch all those cricket matches in Wankhede Stadium. My father used to get some passes. So I used to get 2-3 passes. So I used to get my friends. So one of my friends, he used to hate to travel in the local train of Mumbai. So he used to travel and, he used to find it every day. Every time he used to meet me, he used to give gali to local train. So crowded, horrible. So one day in the college, I gave him a pass. Tomorrow was the match, the next day. And test match. It was a very special pass I got from Pavilion Pass. So I said, you come. And he took that pass and he went home. And next day morning, I said, I'll meet you in the college gate and then we'll go together. And when I went there, when I came around 9:30, 9 o'clock, he was there, beaming, happy. I said, आज local train में कैसा लगा? बोला मजा है, कुछ problem नहीं. I said, how come? You don't like only? Now today I was not at all disturbed. I said, was it less crowded? No, it was as usual. He said, I was very peaceful because I was only meditating on the pass which I had. I'm going to watch the match today. So he was carrying something in his pocket which made him so happy that he could tolerate all the suffering of the local train. This is how devotee's life changes. When we carry Krishna's remembrance in our heart, when we sincerely pray to Krishna, Krishna, I love you. Krishna, I want to serve you. I want to develop affection for you. When we offer prayers like this and we try to remember Krishna, then we are carrying that pass in the heart. Then we will be able to tolerate. Because problems to aayega na. There is nobody who is not going to have problems in life. Anybody here who has no problems? Congratulations if there is somebody like that. But all of us have. है ना? पहले जिंदगी में थोड़ा टेंशन हुआ करती थी. अब टेंशन में थोड़ी जिंदगी रह गई है. That is our life. So what happens when we remember Krishna is our life becomes like a boat in water. Boat is in water, but water doesn't enter the boat. Similarly, we will be in this world, but the world will not affect you. We cannot stop the problems. It's like rainy season, rain you cannot stop, but you can carry an umbrella. Similarly, holy name, Krishna remembrance will be the umbrella. So this is the first topic. So is it clear? Chat with God means what? Remembering Krishna and serving Krishna. This is the first topic. Now I will discuss with you how to practically remember Krishna. Hai na? So what we have to do? So basically there are three things we have to do. If we want to spontaneously always remember Krishna, we have to balance three things in our life. Head, hands, and heart. Head means know about Krishna. It is like Jnana Yoga, learning. Hand means service, seva, karma yoga. So people who practice karma yoga, they do only karma yoga. People who practice Jnana Yoga, they only study scriptures. But those who practice Bhakti Yoga, in Bhakti Yoga, both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga is included. In Bhakti Yoga is which of the three? Hands, head and heart. Bhakti Yoga refers to heart. But this includes hand and head. So, when we practice Bhakti Yoga, if you want to practically remember Krishna, you can every night before sleeping, pick 3 boxes. Did I take care of my heart today? Did I invest emotions in serving, in loving devotees and Krishna? Tick. No, आज कुछ नहीं किया. तो उसी समय एक devotee को WhatsApp message भेज दो, प्रभु, I really liked you, you did this seva, thank you. Give some emotion, express some affection. फिर आपका tick हो गया. Then today did I read and hear and understand Krishna? Science of Krishna consciousness? Yes, tick. I went to Prerana class. वो भी हो गया. Head भी हो गया. Heart भी हो गया. फिर hand, did I serve someone? कुछ सेवा किया किसी का? So when we do all the 3 things, then our life is in balance. This is how we will slowly develop emotions for Krishna. In this world also, if you see, I had one friend, I asked him, how you married your wife? He was telling me a story. He said, I was not interested in her. I was working in a project in office and she was my office colleague. So we started working together in the project. And we had to travel together because of work. So working together in a project, then we started knowing each other. We started asking each other about things. So working together, knowing about each other, and then he said, पता नहीं कैसे हो गया. So first he did कर्म योगा, काम किया साथ में, फिर ज्ञान योगा, पूछताछ किया, फिर प्यार हो गया. इश्क अंधा है बोलते हैं ना, आजकल इश्क अंधा कम गंदा ज्यादा है. जो न्यूज़ में आता है, तबाह होकर भी तबाही दिखती नहीं, ऐसा वन पोएट सेड. तबाह होकर भी तबाही दिखती नहीं, ये इश्क है जनाब, इसकी दवा कहीं बिकती नहीं. So we see that in this world also, people are madly in love. So when you love someone, you will serve that person. And you will want to know about that person. Similarly, we are practicing Bhakti Yoga. So we will take care of all 3 aspects. What are the 3 aspects? Head, hands, and heart. So practically remembering Krishna, practically chatting with God means doing 3 things every day. You may say, Prabhuji, but I am coming to temple, but I don't feel that emotions for Krishna. I am trying so much. Then don't take tension. Just be practical. Just come and do seva. है ना? इतना सोचने का नहीं कि प्यार नहीं आ रहा है, प्यार आएगा ही, सेवा करते रहो। आंखों से आंसू की जुदाई करो, दिल से गमों की विदाई करो। आंखों से आंसू की जुदाई करो, दिल से गमों की विदाई करो, फिर भी दिल ना लगे मंदिर में आओ सफाई करो। do something practical. Don't worry too much कि I'm not feeling love for Krishna, I'm not feeling emotions for Krishna. Don't worry too much about it. Although, what is the most important here amongst the head, hand and heart? Heart. Most important is affection for God. Because when we have affection for God, then we will love everyone. We will not have difficulty loving everyone. Irrespective of religion, caste, gender, we will be actually able to give love. Like, in the olden times, nowadays, I don't know. But when we were young, Bollywood was very bad. Same storyline. Two brothers separated in Mela. And then they start fighting. And just in the end of the movie, they're about to kill each other. And suddenly he sees, Arey, Nishan. Mera bhi Nishan. Fir dono bhai bhai. I don't know, you've seen such movies. Nowadays they don't make such movies. So similarly, when I used to see that, I used to feel, this is how Krishna consciousness also works. When we come to Krishna consciousness, we see everybody as child of the same God. So these two, in the movie, these two are about to kill each other. But when they discovered that they have the same father, that anger transformed into love. Similarly, when devotees practice bhakti yoga, when they develop affection for Krishna, they learn to see others also as children of same God. Therefore, it is very important to have the balance of all three. Therefore, it is very important, head, hand and heart. Many times, the biggest mistake we do is we do all the bhakti practices, but we don't put our heart. We just do it ritual. So many times we chant Hare Krishna. How many of you chant every day regularly on beats? You chant, no? So many times what happens, we are supposed to be focusing on the beats, remembering Krishna, loving Krishna. But instead of focusing on these beats, we start focusing on these beats. Mala khatam hua, ye khatam hua, khatam hua. That means we are doing it ritual. So bhakti means actually not ritual. Ritually karenge na, without understanding, it will not have the effect. Like there is a man who got lost in the forest. He was desperate. He completely lost. So he met one sage. The sage said, I will help you. You sit on this horse. This is a magic horse. If you say, please save me, the horse will stop. And if you say, thank God, the horse will run. And again he said, please save me, the horse stopped. For this man was so desperate, he says, I understood, I'll go. He sat on the horse and he said, thank God, the horse ran. And the sage said, wait, remember the second mantra if you want the horse to stop. He said, I know. But he was so excited and so desperate to get out of the forest that he forgot the second mantra. And he kept saying, thank God. The horse kept running faster. And very soon he came out of the forest. And he was so happy, he wanted to get down. He said, stop. The horse would not stop. He said, thank God. The horse ran faster. And then he realized, अरे कुछ तो मंत्र था, वो तो भूल गया. The only mantra he knew was, thank God. The more he said, thank God, the more the horse ran. Finally, the horse went to a cliff, mountain cliff. And he kept saying, thank God. He was chanting 16 rounds of thank God. The horse was going faster. And it came on the edge of the mountain cliff and suddenly he remembered the second mantra. And just on the edge, he said, please save me. And the horse stopped. He was so relieved. He said, thank God. What happened? He jumped to conclusion. So this is what happens. We chant. We don't know what we are chanting. Why we are chanting. So the chanting session is when we offer our heart. Krishna, please let me develop affection for you. Please let me serve the devotees. Like this. So this is very important. So Second topic, how to practically remember. First topic is, what is it? What do we mean by chat with God? Remembering Krishna, serving Krishna. And how to practically remember Krishna? By balancing head, heart, hands and heart. And what is the most important? Heart. See, this is very important because, we become so calculative, not just in social circles, even in devotional circles. We don't understand that Krishna is waiting to see us offer our heart. Even in our social interactions, always, we calculate. We need to. There is a nice line I read somewhere. दो लफ्ज़ तसल्ली के मिलते नहीं इस शहर में. दो लफ्ज़ तसल्ली के मिलते नहीं इस शहर में. क्यों? क्योंकि लोग दिल में भी दिमाग लिए घूमते हैं. That is the situation. So we are constantly analyzing, constantly calculating. We are not able to come to the stage of shelter, surrender, giving ourselves completely to Krishna. So therefore, this is the second topic. So first is, what do we mean by chat with God? That means remembering Krishna and serving Krishna. Secondly, how do we practically remember Krishna? By balancing head, heart and hands, which means serving, hearing about Krishna, and then also offering our heart to Krishna. Now, practically, the third topic is, how does it really help in a situation, remembering Krishna? See, what happens is, if we start this practice of remembering Krishna, we will learn to place our lives in the hands of Krishna. And that time, what we experience, the happiness, that is the highest happiness anybody can ever experience. See, the essence of Bhakti Yoga, we follow many rules and regulations in Bhakti Yoga. Chanting, no meat eating, no intox, so many rules and regulations we follow. What is the essence of all the rules and regulations? Anybody knows? So many rules are given. In the end, Rupa Goswami has given us the essence of all these rules. He says all these rules are servants of only two rules. If you follow these two rules, then all rules are followed. Anybody knows what are these two rules? Okay. You can repeat this shloka after me, and this shloka contains the essence of all the rules in Krishna consciousness. Smartavya satatam Vishnu Vismartavya na jatu chet Sarva vidhi nishedhasyur Etayor eva kinkara. Kinkara means servants. All the rules are servants of these two rules. Smartavya satatam Vishnu, always remember Krishna. Vismartavya na jatu chit, never forget Krishna. These are the two rules. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Jai Shri Radha Gopinath Lalita Vishaka Bhagavan ki jai, Gopal ji ki jai, Nitai Gaur Chandra ki jai. So the two rules are, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And Rupa Goswami says sometimes there is confusion. Have you ever been confused as a devotee? You get, no, sometimes? How to resolve all these confusions, contradictions? Just two rules. Remember Krishna, don't forget Krishna. I'll give a simple example. One of the rules is that when darshan is open, you should not offer obeisances to anybody else other than God. That is one of the rules. And there's another rule that whenever you see your guru, you should offer obeisances. You can see now, contradiction. If the guru is standing in front of the Lord and you come here and you see guru, what will you do? If you offer obeisances to guru, then you are breaking the first rule. And if you don't offer obeisances to him, then you are breaking the second rule. It is contradictory. So, how to resolve this? Confusion, right? Like this, there are many rules. So, what we do in this situation? Any answer? What can you do in this situation? What we should do? What is the right thing to do? Should we offer obeisances to Guru or not offer obeisances to Guru? If whatever you say, you have to explain why and how, based on the just now the rule we Yeah, but so you are justifying offering obeisances. No, that is not the point I'm saying. I'm saying how do you resolve this issue? Offer offer Krishna Dandavat. So you are saying I'm offering obeisances to you, Krishna, on behalf of Guru. Wow. Ideally, what is the best thing to do? Should we offer or not offer obeisances? Offer. Once I offered obeisances to one very senior disciple of Prabhupada, he scolded me. Don't you know the rule? You're not supposed to offer any obeisances to anyone other than Krishna. So then next time when I saw him in temple, I did not offer obeisances. So that means I'm not following what you are saying. What should you do? What is the essence? What did we just now discuss? What is the essence of all rules? Remember Krishna and... So, if you do any of the two things, it's okay. First thing you could do is, Krishna, my Guru is here. He is so dear to you. So let me offer obeisances to him. Because he is so dear to you. I know you will be happy if I serve him. So you remember like that and then you offer obeisances to Guru. Krishna accepts that. Or let us say, like in this my case, when that servant sannyasi had scolded me, and next day when I saw him, I didn't offer obeisances. But what did I do? Krishna, I'm right now not offering obeisances to him because I didn't want to offend him. But he is very dear to you. Please accept my obeisances. In my mind, I am offering obeisances to him because he is most dear to you. Did you notice what I did in both situations? What did I do? I remembered Krishna. So whether I offered obeisances or not offered obeisances, the issue is resolved. But we should offer obeisances because when we practice rituals, that helps us remember Krishna. But sometimes we cannot. Sometimes compromise situation. Have you ever been in a compromising situation? You have to sometimes compromise. Sometimes complications happen. Right? So what do? We remember Krishna. That is the essence of Krishna consciousness. And if we remember Krishna, chant Krishna, the heart will be filled with divine emotions. I don't know how many of you saw some years, I think some months ago, I got on WhatsApp one amazing video from Kerala. There were 3 small girls, some 8-9-year-old girls, taking part in singing competition, some talent competition, like Indian Idol type in Kerala. All 3 different contests. Anybody saw this video? You saw? Nobody else saw? Amazing video. 3 different competitions, 3 different sets of judges, different audiences, but all in Kerala, and different girls. One was a Muslim girl. She had a hijab also. All 9-10-year-old girls, 8-9-year-old girls. And they all sang the same song of Krishna, one famous Malayalam Krishna bhajan. And in that, as the bhajan ends, in a high pitch, you have to sing Krishna, Krishna. It's a very high pitch, 3-4 times you have to sing. So all the girls, when they reached that crescendo of chanting Krishna, they were not Hare Krishna devotees, just chanting Krishna's bhajan. And when they were chanting Krishna, they all started crying. In fact, they were wailing. Wailing is like you lose control of your crying. All 3 girls. And even that Muslim girl was crying as she was saying Krishna. This is the power of the word, name Krishna, because Krishna comes from Karshati, all attractive. So when we chant Krishna's name, we experience divine happiness, divine connection, because the soul gets connected to Krishna. So this is the 3rd topic we have discussed, right? All of you clear? The first is, what do we mean by chat with God? It means remembering Krishna and serving Krishna. Secondly, how do we practically remember Krishna? Balancing head, hands and heart. And third, we discussed what is the practical thing that will happen if we actually start practicing remembering Krishna. We will get clarity, we will resolve confusions, contradictions, and we'll be able to experience deep happiness in our heart. So these are the 3 topics. Now the most important, there is one small problem because of which we are not able to remember Krishna. We are not able to balance our lives. Can anybody guess what is that one thing because of which we are not able to remember Krishna? Mind, man. Yes. Mind doesn't let us serve Krishna. Very, very big problem. I wrote a whole book on it, Mind Your Mind. So people thought I'm very mind controlled and I'm self-realized. No, mind, आप कुछ भी कितना भी book लिखो. It is like, anything you write or anything you say, strategy to control the mind, everything has to be processed by the mind only. You understand? It is like, it is like there is a king and you make a plan. Conspiracy. We were going to overthrow the king. उठा के राजा को फेंक देंगे. Plan बनाया. Pura secret plan to remove the king. And then you go and explain the plan to the king only. Will the king allow himself to be thrown out? So that is how powerful the mind is. And many of us are not able to remember Krishna and experience the joy of Krishna consciousness because of this one factor, mind. And because of this, what we do? Constantly seeking approval of people, constantly living in fear. अरे वो क्या बोलेगा, ये क्या होगा? माइंड हमको उल्लू बनाता है. लोग क्या कहेंगे, इस बात पे हम यूं उलझते जा रहे हैं. लुक एट व्हाट द माइंड डज टू अस. लोग क्या कहेंगे, इस बात पे हम यूं उलझते जा रहे हैं कि दिल कुछ और चाहता है और हम कुछ और करते जा रहे हैं. सोचते हैं वक्त बहुत है हमारे पास, इतनी भी क्या जल्दी पड़ी है. सोचते हैं वक्त बहुत है हमारे पास, इतनी भी क्या जल्दी पड़ी है. अब औरों के हिसाब से चल लें, खुद के लिए तो सारी उम्र पड़ी है. दिल और दिमाग के इस कश्मकश में जिंदगी के पन्ने बड़ी रफ्तार से पलटते जा रहे हैं. दिल और दिमाग के इस कश्मकश में जिंदगी के पन्ने बड़ी रफ्तार से पलटते जा रहे हैं. उतना तो हम जिए ही नहीं जितना हम रोज बेवजह मरते जा रहे हैं. दिस इज आवर सिचुएशन. So therefore, our mind is the biggest source of anxiety, problem, because of which we are not able to connect with Krishna. And Arjuna has beautifully explained this in the Gita. You can please repeat this verse. This is one of the most powerful shlokas on the mind in the Bhagavad Gita. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayor iva sudushkaram. Arjuna tells Krishna that, my dear Krishna, my mind is chanchal. Chanchal means restless. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna. Krishna, my mind is chanchal, restless, never stays in one place. Who is saying this? Arjuna, one who could say no to Urvashi's proposal, was so self-controlled. He is saying chanchal hai mind, my mind is very restless. Some of you may think, oh, chanchal is such a cute word. Chanchal means nice. Oh, mind is chanchal, that's nice. No, sorry. Arjuna is saying not only chanchal, he says, chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati. Means पागल भी है, सिर्फ चंचल नहीं है, पागल है. मन तो पागल है, ऐसा कोई मूवी बनाया है ना? नहीं, दिल तो पागल. They should make a movie, मन तो पागल है. तो वो बोल रहे हैं, अर्जुन बोल रहे हैं कि इट इज नॉट सिंपली चंचल. चंचलम ही मना कृष्णा, व्हाट इज इट? प्रमाथि, मैड, रेस्टलेस एंड ऑल्सो मैड. यू में से ठीक है, रेस्टलेस भी है, पागल भी है, उसको पकड़ के टाइट चुपचाप हाथ बांध के नीचे बिठा देंगे, सिंपल. सो ही सेज नो नो नो, यू कांट डू दैट आल्सो बिकॉज बलवद. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavad is very, very strong. So imagine you have a companion, a spouse, a partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, जो भी आपका जो साथी है, चंचल, पागल और strong, powerful, like an elephant, not like chanchal, restless, cute child. Not a cute child, but a mad elephant. You may say, ठीक है, mind को मैं क्या करता हूँ, negotiation skills है मेरे पास. I will talk to my mind, I will negotiate with my mind. नहीं, fourth thing is dridam, stubborn, जिद्दी है. You understand? Arjuna is giving analysis. Mind has these four things. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Second, pramati, balavad, dridam. Restless, mad, strong, stubborn. Tasyaham nigraham manye. I cannot control this Krishna. Vayoriva sudushkaram. I can control the wind. If cyclone comes, I can stop the cyclone with my arrows. But I cannot stop my mind. What a powerful phenomenon mind is. And we have seen in our lives also. If the mind is peaceful, satisfied, nothing can disturb you. मन खुश है तो एक बूंद भी बरसात है. मन खुश है तो एक बूंद भी बरसात है. दुखी मन के आगे समुंदर की भी क्या औकात है ना? So mind is extremely deadly. And there are many stories. Sachinandan Maharaj was once telling me that his father's friend was working in a railway company. So this is in the 1950s or 60s, he was saying that there is a freezer in Germany, the train coaches where they keep the vegetables. So he entered that compartment to inspect and somebody from outside locked the door. And he came running and banged on the door because he's an engineer, he knew that as a technical person, he knew that whoever is stuck in this cabin for more than 7 hours, he will die. His body will become blue, cold, because of the cold. It's very cold inside. So he realized when somebody locked it that, within next 5-6 hours, I have to come out. So he started banging, shouting. No help. And whole day he had to be there, whole night. And naturally, next day morning, when all the people came and opened the door, they found him dead. But everybody was shocked because in our entire area, for last 36 hours, there was no electricity. How did he die? What killed him? The cold? The mind killed him. The Upanishads speak the story of a man who tried to do meditation under a tree. And he was doing meditation and a snake came and bit him. Poisonous snake. And his meditation was broken. He opened his eyes and he saw a rat running. So he thought, oh, rat has bit me. He continued his meditation. And after some days, he was doing meditation. A rat came and bit him. And he said, okay. And then he saw one snake slither by. And then in a few minutes, he died. Who killed him? Mind. So this is how powerful mind is. And we have always underestimated. Therefore, we have to deal with this phenomenon. We cannot say that, I don't want to worry about my mind. No, we have to do some practical, simple things. Then we will be able to ensure that we can chat with God nicely. Daru beda nipunopi shadangrir nishkriya bhavati pankaja koshe. The scriptures explain that shadangrir, a bumblebee, has so much power that it can penetrate daru. Daru beda nipunopi. Nipun means expert. A bumblebee is expert in penetrating daru. Daru means what? Not what you are thinking. Daru means wood. Daru bheda nipunopi is expert in, he can penetrate hard wood. But how does he die? Nishkriya bhavati pankaja koshe. Soft petals of a lotus flower. He goes there to get nectar. And when the petals close, he gets trapped. And he gets killed by the soft petals of a lotus flower. And what is his capacity? Unlimited capacity. Similarly, we have unlimited capacity. We can break through the material barriers and reach Krishna's lotus feet. We can experience union with Krishna. But we are stuck up with our own charane ka problem. This coin, 10 rupee coin, sometimes in the hot sun, if you keep it close to your eyes, I don't know if you've experienced, if you keep the coin very close to your eyes, the vision of the sun gets blocked. But is the coin bigger than the sun? The sun is trillions of times bigger than that coin. But that coin has the capacity to block the vision of the sun. Similarly, our issues are like the 10 rupee coin. But we have kept it so close to our life that we are not able to see the big picture of Surya Narayan, Krishna. Our lives are stuck. We are in a big mess. So in Bhakti Yoga, what we are teaching, if we practice certain things, which I am going to discuss now, 3 things, please understand, we have to stop taking our mind very seriously. Don't believe all the thoughts you get. Our identity is right now merged with the mind. Whatever the mind says, we think I am only that. Please understand, you are separate from your mind. Just like I say, this mobile is mine, means I am separate from the mobile. Similarly, I say, this is my mind. My mind is different, I am different. Please understand this. And the mind is constantly saying, the noise, chattering, 24 hours. And Krishna is also there inside. He is waiting for us to turn to him. Shvetashvatra Upanishad explains, Samane vrikshe purusho nimagno. Krishna is standing, waiting for us to turn to him. But what are we doing? We are listening to whom? We are not listening to Krishna's voice. We are listening to mind's noise. And the mind is like loud, urgent, important. It's like this. Imagine a beautiful child, 6-year-old child, okay? And who is that child? Beautiful 6-year-old child? That is you. Inside you, the real you, the self is like that beautiful, sweet, cute child. There is a child within each one of you. And imagine this child is sitting and there is a gigantic 10-foot tall monster on one side of that child who is shouting. And the child is constantly looking at that monster and taking everything that the monster is saying seriously. And the best part of this story is that that monster cannot touch you. He can only say many things. Because mind cannot do anything to you. Mind can only keep giving proposals, but mind cannot force you to do anything. And next to that child, on the right side is a big monster shouting, but can't harm in any way. But on the left side, who is there? Krishna, Radha Gopinath ji, waiting for this child to turn. Krishna, bas ek baar bol diya na Krishna, then what Krishna will do? Krishna will embrace you. We can get into Krishna's loving embrace, but we prefer to look at the mind who can't even touch you, who can only threaten you. So Bhakti Yoga, what we are practicing, our entire job is what? जो हमारा गर्दन ऐसा है ना, उसको ऐसा करके कृष्ण के पास लेके आना है. कृष्ण को देखना है एक बार. And then Krishna will take charge. So that is the journey. So this is the 4th topic we discussed. Basically, what is that one factor which is preventing us from connecting with Krishna? And that is mind. Man. Okay? Now, what are the simple things we could do by which we could ensure that we can separate? See, what is the strategy now? We have to separate ourselves from our mind. Mind का नहीं सुनना है. किसका सुनना है? कृष्ण का सुनना है. तो अभी we are, because right now our mind and we have become merged. So how do we separate ourselves from our mind? That is the 5th topic. So there are 3 things which many devotees do. I also practice. One is, it's easy to remember. You can take the first letter of each of these 3 principles. Breathing, journaling and praying. ठीक है ना? अभी मैं जगन्नाथ पुरी जा रहा हूँ, so I remember Baldev, Jagannath and Puri. I can remember like that. Breathing, journal and prayer. So what is breathing? Breathing means, see, all these 3 things, if you practice sincerely, you will get dramatic results within 1 week. Guaranteed. Or paisa wapas. 3 things: breathing, journaling and praying. If you do this, you'll be able to separate yourself from your Mind. Okay, I'll ask one question. You may think it is stupid, but it's a very intelligent question I'm asking you. How many of you breathe? Thank you. Sometimes at least you breathe, no? ठीक. Okay, now, how many of you are conscious that you are breathing? One person, two. This is a very tough question. It requires a lot of, I think some of you got immediately alarmed. How many of you are conscious when breathing? Nobody. Breathing, we all are breathing, but we are not conscious. Just imagine if you try for some time every day, conscious breathing, which means inhale to the count of 4. I'll give a simple demonstration. Hold for a couple of seconds and then exhale to the count of 4. Not with too much force. It has to be seamless, soft. And that soft breath, if you simply listen to that breath, sound of that breath, if you keep an alarm, इसका कुछ अच्छा उपयोग करो इसका alarm लगाओ 2 minute का, 2.5 minute का, 3 minute का, keep it next to you and do this and see what happens. Slowly, there's a lot of kachra here. It's like going to the washroom. All of you go to the washroom, right? Flush करते निकल जाता है सब. So this is like going to the washroom. सब कचरा निकल जाता है. So many of devotees, many people in this world I have seen, they take breathing breaks. Just like when you're thirsty, you drink water 5 times a day, 6 times a day. Just sitting down, breathing has dramatic effects because the world can be overwhelming. The situations can overwhelm us. And we are forced to get dragged. And sometimes you'll be shocked. You know, like I was in Madrid airport just 5 months back. I was traveling to US. And I'm an Indian. And I lost my backpack in one terminal bus. And just at the counter, I realized my passport, everything is gone. And how Krishna saved me, that's another story. For some other day, I will tell you. But at that moment, the devotee was with me. One devotee had just volunteered to come with me to help me. And he said, and I looked at him and I said, backpack gone. And what do we do? It's a huge airport, Madrid airport. And the terminal, one terminal, the next terminal, I don't know how many minutes, 10, 15 minutes it was taking for the bus. Which bus, where, what to do? Just complete chaos. So then I held his hand. What do we do now? Krishna gave me the intelligence. I said, Prabhu, anyway we have lost the bag. Abhi next 30 seconds mein to kuch milne wala nahi. So let us do some breathing. For a few seconds, I said, just breathe now, breathe. Because of the practice, na? Every day when you practice, so spontaneously thoda Krishna, Hare Krishna, dhire dhire se Hare Krishna chant kiya, softly breathe kiya. After 45 seconds, thoda peace laga. Then I told him, Prabhu, now we can panic. Ready? Abhi bolo kya karna? And just at that moment, there's one girl, Shamli. She had also come for the retreat. So I know her parents very well. And she was in the same bus, terminal bus. And she was going to the next terminal. She had a flight to London. And she saw my bag and she assumed it is mine. Assumed. And she called him. And fortunately his phone was on. Matlab, it was such a coincidence, and she had the bag, but she had to take another flight and he had to rush there just before she entered the boarding gate and all that complication. But I got my bag. But I'm just saying how sometimes things are not in our control. I don't know if you have experienced sometimes somebody you really trust or love says something very nasty about you. And you are shocked. Somebody criticizes you, then what do? Immediately you react. But if you have a practice of slowing down your life, basically breathing means slow down. Then you will be able to, because you will get a lot of flack. Don't think everybody is only going to love you. And who will hurt you the most? Huh? Not devotees. Devotees will not hurt you. Those whom you love, those who are close to you. है ना? Somebody told me a nice line. बहुत दिनों से कोई नया जख्म नहीं मिला. बहुत दिनों से कोई नया जख्म नहीं मिला. जरा पता तो करो ये अपने हैं कहाँ. So that's life, okay? It's not easy. People will hurt you. And it's not easy for the mind to take. Like, recently the New Zealand Prime Minister, she resigned. And everybody is appreciating her honesty. Why did she resign? She said, my tank is full, I can't handle this. It's too much. And compared to India, how big is New Zealand? It's a tiny country. What issues will New Zealand have compared to India? And the Indian Prime Minister says, मैं जब रात को सोता हूँ तो अच्छा नींद लगता है. I'm assuming he is speaking the truth. See, the problem with this example is, any political example you give, people get agitated. Either they... sorry, wrong example. But imagine, there are people in India, in Sanatan Dharma, there are practices of yoga, breathing, pranayam, which can keep you peaceful. It is a fact. So this is one. Breathing is one. Okay? What does it do? Breathing, what does it do? It slows down your life. When you slow down your life and then you write journals. Journal writing matlab paper lo, pen lo, likho. I'm writing a next book. The whole chapter is on journal writing. There are many types of journal writing. It's a whole class on journal writing, which I'm not going to take now. Essence is, write your heart. So what happens in journal writing? Breathing does what? Slows down. Journaling does what, Journaling makes you see your mind. Arey, bah, tum alag aadmi hai. You will realize mind has a mind of its own. Mind is different person, you will realize when you write journals. There is one of the techniques of journal writing is called now writing. One of the techniques of journal writing. I'm just sharing one of the techniques, just to give an idea of how journaling is so fascinating. When you do now writing, it means you are writing what's happening now. So you write. Right now, my mind is telling me, go to the washroom. See, you don't have to do anything. You just have to note down what the mind is saying. It's amazing. After a few seconds, you will realize you are different, mind is different. Because what will happen as you are writing, the mind will say, right now, get up and call your friend. So you are observing, right? And then you are writing. So you will write, right now, my mind is telling I should get up. And by the time you complete that sentence, you will forget what the mind had told. Because the mind would have gone to 10 other topics. And then you will realize, baap re, to bahut powerful hai. That awareness of mind is a big victory. Very, very powerful. Journaling is extremely powerful. Free writing, journaling. Journaling, what happens? See, breathing, what does breathing do? Slows down. You know what journaling does? Journaling helps you, after you're slowed down, journaling helps you see what is there in your mind. Like if you have driven a car, when you go full speed in the car, what happens? When you see on the right side, there are trees, mountains, you can't see anything clearly, car is going fast. But when the car goes slow, what happens? You can see there's a mango tree, there are 5 branches, there are birds, right? Similarly, our life is going so fast, we don't know what's happening. But when you write journals, you can see, acha, ye thought hai, ye desire hai, ye fear hai, ye insecurity hai. It's like seeing the minute details of what's happening within. And then you realize, oh, I'm lonely. I have this insecurity. Sometimes people tell us, Arey, aap brahmachari hai, you have no family, you must be very lonely. Who is there for you? So I tell them, I have journal and Krishna. मेरे अकेलेपन का मजाक बनाने वालों, जरा ये तो बताओ, जिस भीड़ में तुम खड़े हो, उसमें कौन तुम्हारा है? So you are also... So, everybody is alone. आज मैंने परछाई से पूछ ही लिया, क्यों चलती हो मेरे साथ? आज मैंने परछाई से पूछ ही लिया, क्यों चलती हो मेरे साथ? उसने भी हंसकर कहा, और कौन है तेरे साथ? So, sorry for all this little bit of time pass. But yes, journaling helps us to face our insecurities. It helps us to understand what's happening inside. So, breathing slows you down. Journaling gives clarity. See, right now, I don't know if you realize, our mind is spinning at an incredible pace. You know, the fastest car, there's a German car, I forget the name, it's a tongue-twisting name. It drives at 300 kilometers per hour. So imagine you're on this car. But do you realize that when you're speeding on a fast car on a highway, that car is going very fast. But the car is where? Where is the car situated? On planet Earth. And the Earth is spinning at 24,000 kilometers per hour speed in its own axis. Which means, in 1 hour, like, you know, it's like you can travel 1,600 kilometers in 1 hour, something like that. So basically, I calculated at that time, I don't remember the exact details now, but I remember calculating, in 1 hour you could go from here to Mayapur, or Gurgaon, or Chandigarh. From in 1 hour going from here to Chandigarh. That is the speed in which Earth is rotating in its own axis. And not only that, Earth is not only rotating in its own axis, Earth is also moving around the sun. You know at what speed? Some lakhs of kilometers per hour, which comes to the same distance to Chandigarh from Mumbai in 1 minute. It's like 40 kilometers per second or something. So fast. So imagine you're on a planet Earth, which is going very fast, and Earth is going around the sun at that speed. So, and you're on that planet Earth, sitting in a car which is going very fast, and inside that car your mind is going super fast. You understand? You're understanding what seriousness? Our lives just totally reckless it becomes. So we need to pause. We need to slow down. So this is journaling. Journaling is a great tool to slow down and connect to yourself. Breathing, journaling, and third is prayer. Now prayer, there are many techniques of praying. Chanting verses, singing, sankirtan. One of the prayers is also chanting Hare Krishna in our beats. Basically, the principle of prayer is initially we offer our heart, we remember Krishna, we tell our feelings to Krishna. But advanced prayer means sharing silence with Krishna, means listening to Krishna. See, just like in a relationship, if you love someone, you speak, but you also listen, right? So prayer actually means listening to Krishna, which means when we are chanting, if we focus on listening to the syllables, Hare Krishna and Rama, these 3 words, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So if you listen to these 3 words, then what will happen? We are listening to Krishna. And that will help you attain a state of peace which no other experience, no other activity will help you. So prayer is the most powerful tool. And prayer includes principles of gratitude, appreciation. So daily practice. Now you may say, okay, I'll pray as and when I feel like. No. To make prayer a natural part of our life, we need to practice some discipline. So many of our devotees chant 2 hours every day on their japa beats. You can start with a few rounds every day, half an hour, 10 minutes. Because a practice is needed. Simply saying, I will go back to Krishna, I love Krishna, I don't need to chant. It's external, I love Krishna, I remember Krishna. That's not going to work. Mind is expert. Mind knows how to fool you. Because if you say, I can control my mind, I'll scold my mind now. But you don't realize the mind has come through the back door. You are shouting at your mind, is your mind only shouting. It's not you. So it's very, very deep. You can't just say that I've separated myself from my mind. You need a practice, a discipline. So the simple things we need to do. Talking big things about going back to Godhead, that's not going to work. Like there is one Urdu poet, Iqbal. He said a very nice statement. He said, Bistar se utkar masjid tak na ja saka Iqbal. Like he's lamenting that I could not get up from the bed and go to the mosque. And what am I talking about? He says, Bistar se utkar masjid tak na ja saka Iqbal और ख्वाहिश रखते हैं कब्र से उठकर जन्नत में जाने की. You know? So we have lofty desires. We have lofty desires. Okay, I'm going to go back to Godhead. I'm going to do this. But what about the basic practice? So if we practice basic chanting every day, a fixed number of rounds, we will get to learn the science of praying, listening to Krishna's voice in the heart. Remember, our strategy is what? To turn the neck which is tilted here to the monster, to Krishna. So we have to hear Krishna's soft voice. He is waiting to embrace you. But to hear his voice, we have to listen to the holy names. And you may say, but Puja, I'm chanting for last so many years, but I still don't feel presence of Krishna. So we want to assure you, just hang on. Anytime it can happen. Anytime you'll feel you will get that moment that the breakthrough moment will come. Don't give up. Because Krishna is expert in playing with his devotees. And he will reciprocate at the right time. When we were young, we were very, we were very fond of one actor, Bollywood actor. He used to have this, he's very famous for his dialogues. There was one very famous dialogue he said, Jani, हम तुम्हें मारेंगे, जरूर मारेंगे, पर वो बंदूक भी हमारी होगी, वो गोली भी हमारी होगी, वो वक्त भी हमारा होगा. सुना है ये डायलॉग? So I don't clap for this, Baba. This is a Bollywood dialogue. So I'm saying how Krishna also says the same dialogue to, when you start chanting, Krishna also says the same thing. Especially when you say, no, Prabhuji, itna saal se chanting kar raha hu. Where is Krishna? So Krishna will tell you like this, Prabhu, हम तुम्हें बचाएंगे, जरूर बचाएंगे, पर वो सिचुएशन भी हमारी होगी, वो प्लानिंग भी हमारा होगा, और वो वक्त भी हमारा होगा. So Krishna is the expert. Krishna knows how to protect his devotees. And so many of you may wonder, but how can chanting help me? I've got so many problems in life. No, just have faith. Shraddha Shabde Vishwase Sudrida Nischay Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Make this the first priority of your life and see how life sorts out. Sometimes when there is impurity in the blood and you get boils, some doctors give you medicine to take care of the boil. But an intelligent doctor will cure the blood. Sometimes when you cure the blood, more boils may come. But the disease is permanently cured. Like when in Srinagar, these people used to throw stones every second day there was stone pelting. So solution, army should do this, army should do that. Different things army was trying. Catching that stone pelter, tying him to the jeep. I don't know if you remember all this, some years back. So stone pelting was a big problem. Every 2 days they were throwing stones at the army. And army was trying different techniques. So the Prime Minister, out of the box solution, he did demonetization. उसके बाद stone pelting ही बंद हो गया. What is the connection? There is a big connection. Hawala market, black money, lot of things. And the enemy country which was sponsoring all of this, now they have become beggars. What is the connection of demonetization and fighting a war? So what I'm trying to say, just like in this world also, what is apparent, some things are not apparent. Similarly, when you're chanting Hare Krishna, you may say, but I have got this problem, that problem. Arey, ye chanting shuru karo. This may not solve your job problem, but this will bring you closer to Krishna, and that will solve a much bigger problem. So therefore, I invite all of you to chant Hare Krishna every day, regularly. So to summarize what we've discussed so far, you'll have to help me summarize. I also have forgotten. Oh no, I missed one topic. Yeah, we have to discuss. How can we know that if somebody is actually connected to Krishna, right? So the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 6th chapter, text number 24 to 38, explains that there are 3 symptoms. Somebody who's chatting with God, somebody who's connected to Krishna, he will be free of pride and envy. Means he will always want to serve. He will be in the servant mood. Second, he will be fearless in preaching. And third, he will genuinely have compassion and love for others. And Srila Prabhupada perfectly exemplified this. When he was preaching in New York, Allen Ginsberg started coming to Srila Prabhupada's program. Allen Ginsberg was a very well-known man in America at that time. He was a poet. He was advocating drugs. And he started telling in interviews that I go to Hare Krishna. So then reporters asked Srila Prabhupada one time, cornered Prabhupada and said, "Are you Allen Ginsberg's guru?" This was a very heavily loaded question. If Srila Prabhupada said yes, that means Prabhupada was endorsing, in one sense, Allen Ginsberg's activities is known to Prabhupada. How can he be his guru? If he says no, then he would be hurting Allen Ginsberg. So it was a question which was asked, and Prabhupada had spontaneously answered without batting an eyelid. He didn't have to think of a clever answer, but he gave an answer that was not only clever, but perfectly honest. So when the reporter asked him, "Are you Allen Ginsberg's guru?" Srila Prabhupada immediately said, "I am nobody's guru. I am everybody's servant." This was Srila Prabhupada's genuine answer. This is what happens when a person is connected to God. And personally, I'm being very frank, when I joined ISKCON, two stories, one in 97 when I was just joining, it completely convinced me that Krishna consciousness is real when I read this story. And then 10 years later, another story also convinced. I'll just share those two stories briefly, because how devotees in the mood of compassion, fearlessness and genuine service attitude, when they experience Krishna, they have these qualities. See, in 1992 to 94, those of you know history, there was a major war in Europe. Yugoslavia broke down to Bosnia, Croatia, Serbia. So Sarajevo, which is the capital of Bosnia. So there, two devotees were there, and they were young girls, just 20 to 23-year-old girls, Janu Kanyaka and Hamsavina Matajis. They were trapped in that temple, and Serbian army attacked. In these 2 years of war, 50,000 soldiers were killed. I mean, it's crazy. In fact, there was no place to bury the bodies also. All the cemetery was full. They had to bury bodies in between traffic signals, in between buildings. It was horrible condition. Every building had marks of bullets and mortar shells, bombs. And they were managing that center during this peak period, these two young girls. Fearlessly preaching. And they were going around. They wanted to get food because UN was supplying relief. They convinced the UN agencies that we are doing social service, and they got all the food ration, and they went around making cookies and distributing to neighbors, relief camps, army soldiers. And people were struggling so much to survive. These two girls were managing to have everyday bath, have fresh clothes, wearing fresh clothes and cooking there to get wood from. This whole story had come in the Back to Godhead magazine. It was called Angels in Hell. And it described in detail how they would go and get wood from the trees, because there was no electricity supply, water they had to get from different places. And still they would have morning program, Mangalarati. And from the mountains, when people were running away, 20 people joined that small temple. 20 people entered their temple and they were staying there. So they had to be given accommodation there. So these 20 people plus these two girls, and then they're going to the army camps. And once the rebel camp, the Bosnian Muslim rebel camp, they captured her and they were about to kill her. And she managed to escape. The whole long story, and how the Prabhupada's books was stored in one place, and those people were using Prabhupada's books as fuel. And she went and convinced them, but they were threatening to kill her. Then she went to the army, convinced the army major, and they came with the vehicle of soldiers. And then she got the books. Like this, one story after another. And they did this, and they're disciples of His Holiness Srila Indradumna Swami Maharaj. And when I read that, I was like amazed. How can a 22, 23-year-old European lady have so much conviction in Krishna? And these two women did so much preaching. And in 2007, after I joined, 10 years after I joined, I saw 9 to 10 years, on 16 November 2007, one news completely shook me. America had deployed soldiers in Iraq. And there was one American soldier in the army fighting in Iraq. And he had become an initiated devotee. His name was Partha Sarathi Prabhu. And he had written a letter to Los Angeles temple telling them that please send me 1,000 cookies. Because I am going to celebrate Rath Yatra here, in the battlefield in Iraq. And he convinced his major, everyone. But unfortunately, you know how fighting battles are. Just one day before that event, he was transferred to another place, which was something 200 kilometers away from another battlefield, which was the peak. So all the planning had to stop. And he had his Jagannath deity. The Jagannath deity also you will find in the internet, all the photographs. And he took the Jagannath deity, went to that new posting, and nobody knows him there. He had to make new relationships, new friends, and convince them. And he had a Rath Yatra organized there, and he cooked curd rice for 100 people, more than 100 people, 100 army soldiers of the American army took part in Jagannath Rath Yatra in the middle of the battlefield. And these cookies come from Los Angeles, and he fed this prasadam to everyone. You will see like this, there are hundreds and thousands of stories of devotees taking risks, fearless, following the footsteps of Narad Muni, following the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. So, there are so many stories we could discuss, but I'll just like to conclude now. I would like to say we have discussed today 6 topics. First, we discussed what do we mean by chat with God. What does it mean? Chat with God means remembering Krishna and serving Krishna. Second, how to practically remember Krishna? By balancing head, hand, heart. Which means service, hearing about Krishna and offering our heart, emotions to Krishna. Then third, we discussed how does it practically help us on a day-to-day basis when we start practicing remembering of Krishna. How it will help us? It will help us make the right choices. When we are confused, we'll be able to resolve those confusions. And the fourth topic we discussed, what is that one problem because of which we are not able to connect with God? Mind. And we discussed 3 techniques by which we could deal with this mind. What are those 3? Breathing, journaling, and prayer. And what does this do? This slows down the mind, helps us to see what is there in the mind, and most importantly, it helps us to separate ourselves from our mind, and then we can connect with Krishna better. Remember, our head is turned towards whom? The monster. We want to turn to Krishna. And in the end, I discussed that how can we know somebody is connected to God? What are the symptoms? Free from pride and envy, compassion, and fearless in giving Krishna consciousness to others. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So thank you, Prabhu, for this wonderful class. And now we have been flooded with a lot of questions, but the question is very common. Prabhuji, when are you giving next Prerana? So thank you so much for this wonderful talk. Now we'd like to ask you if you have any questions. We'll pass on the mic. If you have some questions, you can ask. We can have a couple of questions, and then we'll have some announcements and then Kirtan. So किसी को कुछ प्रश्न है? Yeah.
Hello. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, my question is, how much time should we dedicate to that breathing and journalism?
Journalism अलग है, journaling अलग है.
Journaling. That breathing exercises and journaling.
See, it depends from person to person. It's difficult to say exactly. See, I can tell you about myself. I'm not saying you should do it like that. But I write every day in the morning for 1 hour, journal. But that's because I'm not like you, maybe working outside responsibility. I may not have. So maybe that's not possible. So, see, it's a principle. You may not even write every day. The idea is somehow slow down. In fact, what I shared, these 3 principles, they are not sacrosanct or exhaustive. In fact, you could have your own tools. The idea is, can you slow down your life? For some of you, it could be just spending time in nature. Like sitting under a banyan tree, relaxing, just slow down. or doing nothing sometimes, just relaxing and doing nothing. Doing nothing means, what do you do, people, when you think, कुछ नहीं करना है मतलब phone उठा लेते हैं हम लोग. Now, doing nothing means not even having the phone. Can you just sit with yourself? You can do that. You don't have to write journal. Whatever helps you to connect. You getting it? जय श्री श्यादा गोपीनाथ भगवान की जय, निताय गौर चंद्र की जय, श्री गोपाल जी की जय. Please listen to this, very important. I shared those 3 principles. They are not like you have to necessarily do that. You can discover your own tools by which you can separate yourself from your mind. And doing nothing is a great technique. Doing nothing means just sit with your pain, just sit with your situation. Don't get tempted to take the phone. Just, once I was sitting in the terrace, I was relaxing, I was just sitting. One devotee came and said, Prabhuji, there's an important meeting, can you come? I said, no, Prabhu, I am doing something more important. I said, what are you doing? I said, I am doing nothing. I said, oh, you must be memorizing the verses for your next class. I said, no, I am doing nothing. Oh, you must be actually praying to Krishna, I said, no, I don't think I'm praying, I'm doing nothing. He just couldn't get it. I said, what do you mean, Prabhu? I mean, you must be doing something. I said, Prabhu, it requires a lot of hard work to do nothing. So, jokes apart, see, we are not encouraging people to just become like Buddhist monks, do nothing, and no, not like that. We want to serve Krishna. But I'm just saying, sometimes you have to reboot, sometimes you have to recharge your battery. So it helps because nowadays we are leading a very fast life. The dopamine-induced electronic screen always stimulates us. But stimulation is different from satisfaction. Satisfaction is more deeper. So whatever it helps you to reduce your stimulants in your life. So, is that okay? Thank you. Yes, you also had a question? Yeah. It's on.
Krishna. So actually, thank you for the wonderful class. I am attending this after Corona period. So before, I used to attend Radhanath Swami's classes. So I had heard a verse 5.18 from Bhagavad Gita, where there was mentioned the Sami Darshan Bhav, right?
Vidya Vinaya Sampannam.
To see everyone with the equal vision.
Correct.
But after COVID period, the social media things have gone at such a level that caste biasism, religion biasism is there, because seeing the news every day from every country. So somewhat that Samidarshana Bhav has gone.
Correct.
I hope you got the point.
Yeah. So you are saying how to revive that?
Earlier it was there.
So
now.
stop watching news. Really? No. I'm very glad you raised this point. News right now, news is not about informing you what's happening. News is about what will sell. Please know this. Generally news is about sensation, something bad happening. A young girl, for her to cross the street, there may be more danger of her being attacked for her being smashed by a vehicle than she being raped by a man. But the rape news will be so many, but the good news will be none. News is always about bad things happening in the world. I'm not saying they're not important. Everything is important, but overdose of news channels focuses how to get your attention and keep it. We tell you to relax. Sometimes we tell you कि कुछ दूसरा करो, walking करो, ये करो. Do the news channels say, अरे बहुत news देख लिया, आप जाके थोड़ा आराम करो. They will never tell you that. Always breaking news. You know why? Because psychologically, I don't know if you know this, psychologically human beings, we are more attracted to negativity than positive news. And news channels know this bias and they exploit it very well. Psychologists have observed a 10-week-old baby. If you keep a 10-week-old baby And if somebody comes in front of that baby and smiles and laughs, and the child will look at that person happily. Then, if somebody comes in front of that child and makes a frowning face and an angry face, the child will look at that person for a longer time. That's how deeply wired it is within us to seek negativity. Like simple example, you're driving on a highway from Mumbai to Pune, and you may see nice mountains and trees on your right side and left side. How much do you observe it with interest? Vis-a-vis, when you're driving, you suddenly see an accident site. When you see some accident, everybody's looking at that as they are driving. But we don't look at the nature so much. So there is deep wiring in us to look at negative news. And news channels provide this all the time because they know our weakness. But if you really want to know news, then you go to those sites which give analysis of events, periodicals. There are a lot of things happening below the radar of the news channels. There are geopolitical dynamics. There are a lot of other things happening which news channels can't understand only. So news is all about sensationalism. And that is what is making you feel that there is too much of hatred and too much of prejudice. For everything they create a news. So please avoid as much as possible. And trust me, whatever you need to know, you will get to know. It's not that we are against news channels. We are just saying that more important than this flashing news which comes on the television and the internet, more important is the analysis of the news, which explains the trends, which explains other deeper issues. So, yeah, that's the way I would like to answer
Thank you.
your
Hare
question.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
If you have more questions, you can ask. We have some more time. Yeah.
I see
back
one
there.
person there.
Yeah.
Glasses, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I have a practical question related to journaling. So because we live in Mumbai, we always lived in shared spaces and limited space where we have a lot of members staying there.
Yeah.
So there is always a problem of privacy.
Yeah.
Because of which we may not be able to write journals. Second is, even if we write, we always have that fear that somebody who is not even concerned with it may read it and may get aware about our vulnerabilities. So I have a question like, should we be so cautious about somebody will read it, or should we think about all these things, or how should we proceed about it?
Yeah, this is a very practical question and challenge faced by many of us, including me. I'll tell you, most people are not bothered about you. I mean, me also. They're not bothered about what you write. They don't have time to read your journals. This is my realization. Because I've got one whole cupboard filled with, I had to throw many of them because I'm writing every day. And nobody's interested. Nobody will bother to read. What I also suggest is, you can write, and after writing, you can gently tear it if you want. Or light it with fire, or you can write it on a computer. Ideally, paper and pen is best, but nowadays you can write on computer and password protect it. Like one of my very close friends, His Holiness Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj, he writes on computer and he has password protected. So he was sharing in one seminar recently, he opened his journal. He says, this is a journal I wrote on 17th May 2002, and he read that. And then next file he opened 17th May 2012. And then 17th May 2022. Journal entry. And it was like amazing, seeing his growth and evolution and the issues that were happening at that time. So it's a fantastic experience if you can write it and preserve it. So nowadays electronic, computer is there, but although it's not the best, but we have to be practical also. So you can try writing on computer and saving it. But to be very honest, people don't care what you write. And if you, that privacy issue will be there, but you can think of better ways to. I mean, if you write something really obnoxious or something which you feel nobody should know, then you can burn it, you can tear it. But most of the things won't be like that. Don't allow the mind to give excuses for not writing a journal. See, one of my most favorite inspirational quotes of Srila Prabhupada is August 14, 1972. This is a lecture Srila Prabhupada was giving in Los Angeles. If you get a chance, you can read or hear this class. In that class, Prabhupada says at least 10 times, write, write, write. All of you write 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines. Just write. Realization means write. He's just literally shouting, Write, write. Something you write. This is not for the world's consumption. This is for... It's like you're meeting your own self. अपने आप को मिल रहे हो आप. अभी प्रॉब्लम क्या हो गया है ना? वी आर रनिंग एवरीवेयर आउटसाइड. जंगल जंगल ढूंढ रहा है, मृग अपनी ही कस्तूरी. There is a deer which has kasturi inside, but the deer is searching everywhere else. जंगल जंगल ढूंढ रहा है, मृग अपनी ही कस्तूरी. कितना मुश्किल है तय करना खुद से खुद की दूरी, है ना? So this journey of connecting to yourself has become very long for you now. A journal will help you reduce that journey. Otherwise, our life is so empty. भीतर शून्य, बाहर शून्य, शून्य चारों ओर है. It's all a big zero. भीतर शून्य, बाहर शून्य, शून्य चारों ओर है, फिर भी मैं का ही शोर है. It's only I, my problem, my life. So just connect to yourself. Pause, write down. ठीक है? Anyway, we waste so much time on social media, WhatsApp. 10 minutes निकालो, लिखो and see the difference. Okay? Thank you very much.